functions and all and matrices. Well, I'm a science student, I'm an engineering student, so I'll be able to like, tell that okay, this is what these guys do. How about people who are not in that line? People who are probably doing some other courses. How do they get their way around it? Do they have to work extra?
Yeah, so truth is for you to go into artificial intelligence and machine learning, you need to have an idea of mathematics and statistics. They are very key because then you'll be working with models. And you remember last time when in the introductory class, we said for your models to work, they have to um they have to work with data, getting
Yeah,
feeding it with
yeah.
data, and then it's more of like computes the similarities, like tries to find similarities between whatever data you have imputed into it. And then once it has been able to figure out these specific similarities, then it's trains itself and builds into a model. It's built into a model that you can integrate into wherever you need to integrate it into. Now, another part you noticed, I think I did it in introduction. I'm not sure if it was the introductory class, but then if you are working on with predictions,
Okay.
sure it is that a specific item or a specific prediction that it has made is correct or not correct. So it makes use of tons
Okay.
and tons of mathematical calculations,
I'm sure.
working with statistics to be able to use this solution. So it's a very important, very important. And you're working with data, lots of it has to do lots of calculations.
Yeah.
So for someone who doesn't like mathematics, doesn't like
Okay.
statistics, I won't advise that person to make use of to go into the programming part of statistics and of data analytics and AI.
Okay.
And just to note, data analytics is a different path from artificial intelligence. So it's supposed to be
Okay.
data
Yeah.
science and AI. So just so you note.
Okay. Right.
Great. So we
Thank
just
you.
have yourself and Rachel on the call. So I think we can get started now. And in today's class, like I mentioned earlier, the link to the Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals learning part is in the chat. So you all should be sure to check it out and ensure that you try as much as possible to practice before each class. I'll be giving an assignment in preparation for the next class, something you should try out and possibly build so that when we come over to the next class, it's easy for us to continue building. It will be easy for you to understand the concept when I'm explaining them. Now, you remember during the first class, I was talking about the different parts of artificial intelligence. I talked about machine learning, I talked about anomaly detection, and I talked about conversational AI. And I said in conversational AI, you have your chatbots and then you have your bots. And I explained the very easy difference of between a chatbot and a bot. Say the bot has can carry out more functionalities than a chatbot. So for a chatbot, just used for conversing, usually your question and answer, and probably getting response from a website or something. But then you can't just have conversations with it. But for your bot, it does lots more than that. Your bot can store data. So your bot can retrieve of the Azure language service and the Azure bot service to build a bot, to be the bot. Like key concepts or key things to take note of, just a little bit of introduction into the conversational AI space. Some of the use cases of conversational AI are in, like I mentioned, the chatbots. They can be used on websites. It can be used mobile applications, and in most cases, they are just embedded on our mobile devices. So for example, you have your Google Assistant. For your desktop computer, for your laptop computer, you have Cortana. You can interact with those. Now I'm going to share my screen. Something else to note is we are going to be making use of what we call a knowledge base. Now, a knowledge base is like a warehouse or like a database that contains different questions, and each question has an answer. Remember, a knowledge base is like a So what a knowledge base does is it stores all of those questions and their respective answers. And even though the questions are rephrased or phrased in a specific way, you would still get the answer for that specific question. And then we'll be making use of what we call a bot service. It is like an interface for you to interact, for you to create your knowledge base, and then your knowledge base can interact with the different platforms that it needs to interact with. Now, I'm going to share my screen now. And when I share my screen, just give me 1 minute. We'll quickly get started building our knowledge base. Sorry, it's my share screen feature. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, you can see our screen.
Okay, great. Can you still see the screen?
Yes.
So first thing you will need to do is head over to the Microsoft Azure portal and then sign in with your Microsoft account, as you have noticed. And so once I've signed in on my Microsoft account, I come over and create a resource. And I'm going to create a language service. So remember, your chatbot is part of what we call natural language processing. And I explained it earlier in the first class. Great. So I'm going to create a language service. Oh, did it go backwards? Create a resource. Artificial intelligence, language service. Okay, so I'm having difficulties loading this. So let me share my screen again. Let me try. Okay, I guess it should work now. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use another profile. I guess you all can still see my screen, right?
I'm not seeing your screen. Oh.
You can see my screen?
No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, not. No.
Okay, just let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see it now?
No.
Still can't see it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
shut
on now.
down.
Okay, it's straight now. So I'll create a resource and I'll look for the language service. And let's try creating it. Great. So here you notice that we're picking the key features and we'll be making use of the conversational language understanding, which is already ticked here. So I'll just continue to create this resource group. And now we include the name of your resource group. So let's do Azure AI demo. Let's make use of West US. Give it a name. Tech stylers. But the pricing tier. Okay, sorry. It's not the underscore. So okay, it's working now. So let's take free. Confirm I have read and understood. I might grade a little bit faster, just so we don't overstretch this. And I would wait for it to be built. Oh, sorry. So okay, already building this. So I'm going to create another one. We're supposed to make, okay, great, it's not yet created. So let's change this to S, just so we can get, because again, we'll be making use of the bot, to get responses and all of that. Users will be using it, so we need to ensure We have all sections picked. So what we are going to do next is we are going to head over to, while this is deploying, let's head over to language.azure.com. language.azure.com. And what this will do is it will give us access to the Language Studio portal. So what I'll do is sign in with my my Azure account, the same one I used to creating this. So I'll just wait for this to load up. And if you notice here, it welcomes you. So let's confirm. Okay, so I'm using the student ambassador Azure directory. Oh, sorry, so it's reloading again. And then the specific Azure subscription, the specific resource that we created, the text stylers bot. Remember, I created it earlier. Hope you all are following along.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to create a new language resource. And what that will do, can't find the screen again. So I'm going to click. Oh, okay. So sorry, I created. So let's do this again. Yeah, so I already have this sorted. So I click on done. And then if you notice, you don't have any recent projects yet. Start with one of the custom capabilities to create new project. Notice what we did. The reason why we came to the Azure portal first. Azure is our cloud computing service. So creating a resource group there, it's like creating a room or having a space where we would be reading and writing all our data to. We don't need to keep it in a physical computer because anything could happen to it. And then once anything goes wrong with it, with another server that is not in the cloud, then our bot would stop working. So that's the reason why I'm making use of a cloud service. So no matter what happens, our bot would still keep working. And so what we're going to be creating is a custom question answering.
And Jafet,
Yeah.
is it possible using this bot on Power Platform from Azure? This language, this natural language, this thing is service. Is it possible?
Hello? Was it just me? I didn't hear Rachel anymore.
Sorry, where I am, the place is noisy. I said, is it
Okay.
possible using this bots on? Is it possible integrating it on Power Platform?
Okay, so Power Platform has Power Virtual Agents, so it's lots easier using it in Power, like using Power Virtual Agent. I think it's best using Power Virtual Agents instead of having to come to it, because it's a whole separate interface. You understand?
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
So head over to custom, and then we're going to connect to this. So notice something earlier. Because of time, let's leave this out. We'll connect to this later on, probably in when we need to do something. So once we've gotten here, what we'll do is we'll enable this. Yep. And we are going to create a new Azure Cognitive Service. What this will do is to enable us, so when it's more of like connecting to it, so it's lots easier at that point. So wait for it to come up. Great. And then what we'll do is give the service a name. Must contain only lower cases. So I guess this should work now. Let's ensure we have everything.
Sorry, Japheth, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, on the subscription part, I've always seen Azure subscription. How are you able to change it to Visual Studio?
So for me, I have the Visual Studio subscription. You said from your end, what's it showing? Just Azure subscription.
Yes, just Azure subscription.
Okay, do you have credit in the Azure subscription?
Yeah, free credit, 200. That's $200.
Okay, cool. So you can make use of it. But then mine is under the Visual Studio subscription. It's a Visual Studio subscription.
Okay, thank you.
So what we are going to do is at the end of this, we are going to take note of the estimated cost per month. So our Azure credits don't get exhausted. We're going to delete immediately we are through with this. So remember that. So let's create. Oh, sorry, I think we'll bend backwards. Okay. So okay. Cool. So that's a JIT. Let's reload this. And you can notice that it has been created. So I'll just apply this to it. So wait for this to come up. Wait, so it has been created. So let's reload this page. Great. So we can see that it has been connected. So we just select, I want to select the specific language and then enter basic information. So let's give it a name. Notice that the language resource has been created. And because I already created the Azure search resource, it already has it there. So text, stylus, but now let's leave this for now. Source language, English. Let's leave all of this for now. And let's just create our project. So let's skip all of this. Now the next thing we're going to do is now we have created knowledge base, and I said the knowledge base is a database containing questions and answers. Now our database, our knowledge base could either be a URL or it could be a file. But we are going to make use of a URL, and there is a specific URL. Again, you can find all of this in that learning path I shared with you. We're going to be using this knowledge base here. This is our knowledge base. So this is the link, and the name is Maggie's knowledge base. And then we're going to add it. If you notice, the knowledge base has been added. At any point in time, if we need to, we can always come here
And hi, Jaflet. Sorry, is the screen moving? I'm only seeing one thing. Just keep. Oh, got it. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know if my network is bad.
Okay, I'm back. So network is a little messy today. So let's try to do this real fast.
From my end.
Yeah, so let's happen sometimes. Great. So if you notice, like what I was trying to explain, all of the questions in the knowledge base have been imputed here automatically. So we're working with these questions. Now, we notice from our knowledge base, we didn't add the introductory, question, or let's say the introductory section. So if somebody comes to our bot and the first thing they need to do is say hello or say hi, what happens? So let's stick with hello for now. And then our answer would be hi. Beauty, textilers, AI class, but just repeat this and then I'll submit this. So what we do is I would save the changes. So it's currently saving these changes. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to test this knowledge base. So let's come here and let's click this. Let's do hello. Just to confirm that it's working. So you can see this. So let's pick a specific question. What are your office hours?
Hello, Jaflet. Sorry. Can you add words we do in Power Visual Agents, like suggested words?
So
I-
explain what you mean.
Like you know that a customer is not the word that you saved that the person will actually ask.
Yeah,
It might be close to the question. Maybe a word will just be among the a word will be among the question the person asks.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm asking, is it like Power Visual Agent?
Yeah, so you can see here, I add alternative phrase. Do you understand?
Okay.
So if let's say for example the person doesn't person, but take note. So I think at this point we might even need to change this to edit this and make it instead of it to be okay. So I think so would have changed the title to let's say introduction probably instead of giving hello. Do you understand? It makes it more explanatory.
Okay.
I don't know if you get that point, that part.
Whatsoever comes in as an introduction can
Yes,
go.
I got it.
Sorry?
So they say whatever comes in, if we have hello or hi, to pass in for the introduction.
Yes, to pass it as an introduction. So you take notes, what are your office hours? It does it for you. Now, what we
Okay.
have done is not a bot. I won't call it a bot until it is somewhere, right? Until it's either on a website or either in an application or it's somewhere people can interact with it, right? Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Can you hear me, Rachel Tabu?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
sir.
hear you.
We respond. We can hear you, sir.
Oh, okay. So I was
Hello.
saying it's not until you see it somewhere. So what we're going to be doing is
Hello.
we're going to be creating. Can you not hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can any of you hear me?
I can hear you.
That's Japhet.
Okay, Adamu, you can hear me clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay, so could it be network issues on their end?
We can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. I thought somebody was asking. I thought Rachel was asking where is Japhlet. Okay, so
No, I was not
until
asking that though.
oh okay, sorry,
I
I
think your
don't
network
know.
was,
Probably, oh, probably I don't know how I heard that. So what we're going to do this time is so let's quickly create a web app. We're still heading over to Azure, and on Azure portal, we're going to create a new resource group.
sorry, sir. Please, before we move on, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
You said our database could be URL or a file. What if it's a file?
As long as the questions are arranged, you know, the questions are arranged with the answers.
Oh, okay.
So if it is a Word document, I'll have the question number one, question, then the answer beneath it. So we'll come
Okay.
over here and deploy knowledge base. So come over to deploy. And then what will happen is once it has been deployed, you can see create a bot. Takes us to the Azure portal. And what happens when we get to Azure portal is we can walk around creating, or we're going to be creating a web app bot. The text style as SDK language C# pricing tier. Let's choose F0. And then we are going to you notice the app name. So notice here you have app name .azurewebsites.com. So what is going to happen is it's creating a web application for our bot.
So it's not so clear.
Right. So next thing I'm going to do is turn off application insights just to save my subscription. And then I think I have everything set. Let's just confirm. I already have my bot handle name, subscription, resource group, location already, pricing tier, application name, SDK C#. So I think I'm good to go. I'll just create. Oh, sorry. Yes, I didn't pick this. So let's create a new app service. So let's do tech stylers, and let's go with this. So I think we're good to go now. So it takes little time for it to create it.
Jaflet, sorry, that SDK language, it's showing C# or Node.js. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
What framework, you would need to write some code, or you need to add some features to it. You know, you might decide to want to program some things to it. If you're using bot framework, you decide to also do that. Unable to edit or replace this that. So that's for me. I'm conversant with C#. That's the reason why I picked C#. But then if you're conversant with, okay, so has it been created already? Has it been created already? Let's try 3.
Hello, Jaflet. So if I don't understand any of these programming languages, can I still be able to use this application?
Yes, you can still make use of it. But then again, like I mentioned, just in case you want to have way added features, like you want to add more things to it, that's when you make use of programming, your programming languages.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes.
Python.
No, so Microsoft currently supports, for applications, internal applications like this, currently supports C# and Node.js, especially when it comes to chatbots. Majority of these applications, your bots, your computer vision service, it makes use of C# and Node.js.
And sorry, what of .NET?
So C# is,
Hello?
I think his network is.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, I said C# is a language under .NET. In .NET, you have ASP.NET, you have C#, you have F#. So C# is just one of the languages under .NET. Okay, so great. Our resource group has been created. So let's head over to our website. And sorry, overview. I think I copied the link, right? So let's paste it in here. This was 3.azure website. Again, Azure website is Can you all still hear me? It's taking them some time to load.
Yeah, we can hear you. Hello.
The network is
I think it's,
Can you all hear me now?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. You can still see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah.
Cool. So you
Your
can
bot.
see that your bot is ready. Now we can test with the emulator if we have bot framework emulator. That was what I was talking about. Your bot framework. If you need to add somewhere, you can just do that. And then if you need to publish, you can just publish, connect to any of the channels. Let me open this up. Um, and you can see the different parts that have been created here. So let's go over to resource. Let's head back here, go over to resource. And coming over to settings, let me know if you can find settings anywhere. Testing web chat under settings. So let's click this. And what we are going to do is we're going to hold on to great. So we can see this section, we can type in something. Why is this not coming up? Can you all still hear me? Can you all still see my screen? Can you all still hear me?
yes, Japlet.
So let's ensure that you do this again. It's just a few more things. Okay, so I think we've explained everything. Again, we added hello to our knowledge base, right? Did we? Okay, let me impute something that is in the knowledge base. Something in the knowledge base is I need to cancel my hotel. Sorry. Okay, so I guess it's because of my network. That's why this is not working. So, but this is how you can create your bots. And then if you need to integrate, you can then make use of your Azure bot framework to integrate it to whichever platform you then decide to integrate it into. So I tried to make this as short and as quick as possible just because of time and the network difficulties. So hope you all be able to follow along. If you're unable to follow along, you would get the recording in the YouTube channel for you to
Hello, Japheth. I'm not hearing you.
No, sir, we can't
anymore.
hear you. I can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Oh my, what's happening? Okay,
Sorry.
okay, I'm back now. So what I'm saying is that
All right.
is like a brief run through of, you can still hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so that's a brief
Yes,
run
sir.
through of how to create your bot. Again, try practicing it. If you have any questions, if you come across any difficulties, be sure to reach out to me. We have few difficulties today. I don't know why network is messing around today, but then I'm sure for those who have been on right from the beginning, Tamu, Rachel, and Adamu that joined us later on, you were able to pick something, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Cool. So you always have access to the record. I think you're joining with 2 devices, Rachel. That's why there's an echo. So you could probably try disconnecting
It's just one device. It's my
just one
laptop.
device. Did you open it in 2 browsers? Like, did you open this specific meeting in 2 browsers? Check. There might
Okay,
be
I've
another
noticed
browser.
Rachel, you have an echo.
Yeah, so she probably opened this call
I've seen it.
on.
It's two
Oh yeah,
browser.
it's
Thank
okay.
you.
No.
Great. So that's the reason why. So are there any questions? Just before network messes up again. Any questions? If you need to reach out to me after this privately, be sure to. If you feel comfortable asking your questions in the chat, in the Microsoft Teams team that has been created for artificial intelligence, you can always ask your questions there. So finally, any questions?
Okay, I have a question.
I'm all ears, Rachel.
Okay, are you going to the chatbot you actually created, the bot you created, are you going to deploy it to a website or
So
it's
just
the Azure
yeah.
that will have its own website?
Okay, so you could decide to just the same way with Power Virtual Agents, which are conversant with, you can connect to any of the channels. That's the same way you can also connect this to any of the channels. But remember, the scope of this class is to teach you how these things work because you're going to be writing an exam. And for the curriculum, it doesn't contain that. I was just trying to like add it to the website to show you how the functionality works. So you can add it, you can decide to connect it to any of the platforms. I think I should go over here and you can see a list of all Alexa, Amazon Alexa, your email address, Facebook, Twilio, Skype, Slack, Telegram. We have Kik here, you have direct line language, you have telephone. So you can connect to any of these platforms. Then you have a mini channel and all of that. Just answer a question, Rachel.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Great. So any other questions? Are there any other questions you'd like to ask? Okay, cool. So for our next class, we're going to be doing computer vision. We're going to be working through computer vision, and I will try to get someone else, so you can have someone else, get to also talk with you, someone who also is a professional in this, also get to learn from the experience of one another. So I'm going to speak with someone. I hope he'll be able to join us. His name would be disclosed, his details or his information will be disclosed once he agrees.
All right,
Okay.
sir.
Please give me
Right.
that.
Share the specific module that you're going to or that we're going to be working through. And I'm actually sharing it in the chat now. So just walk through it over the week, the next week, so that when we come on Saturday, it's easy for us while explaining. Hope you all can still hear me.
Yes.
Great. So it's easy for us while explaining. We don't have to go through too many processes to help you all understand. So I would share it now. So I'm copying this. Again, remember you need to cover as much as possible, because at the end of this, for successful participants to be getting access to to write the Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals exam. So please ensure you put in as much effort to learn as much as you can, ask as much questions as you can. I would always be excited to answer your questions. So that's the link. Read as much as you can. We're going to be picking from that module just one or two. In that module, you have 6 different things. You have 6 different modules, and the first is analyze images with computer vision service, your image classification, which is the second, your image detection or object detection, which is the third, then your face service, facial recognition, face detection, and all of that. Then you have your optical character recognition, which I mentioned all of these, explained all of these in the first class. And then you have your form recognizer service. So these are 6 different services. And in the next class, we will not be able to take all of them. So please try as much as possible to, walk through them, practice them. So just in case you get to pick 1 or 2, you would know you have covered the other parts. Great. So can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So Rachel, I don't know if Rachel can still hear me, but network is really, 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 really bad today. So any final
Yes, sir, we can
question?
hear you.
I can hear
Any
you.
final
I can
question?
hear you.
Okay, great. So any final questions so network doesn't keep messing with us?
No, sir.
Great. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Remember, if at any point in time you have questions on me, anytime you come across